again, to go with that galvanized look. How did you choose it? Kim took a lantern. She's actually used just a glass cylinder base, a 7-inch glass cylinder base, stuck down inside the lantern, filled it with the steel grass. Isn't that great? And steel grass is like bear grass, right? It's pretty showy, very colorful, but it's not a lot of money. Steel grass is just a couple of dollars a bunch. Oh, that's probably $4. Yeah, it's not. And then what Kim has done as well, she's used the binding, the grapevine wire. You know where this came from is from Italy. It's when they wire up the grapevines, they don't use just wire. They use paper or wrapped wire. Because wire will just cut through the grape. It seems like incredibly rare how to grow grapes here in Nordlie as well. But you can't just use wire. You have to use covered wire so it doesn't cover or cut the grapevine. So that's what she's used here in Mountain. And we just set that right back inside the cylinder. And then maybe on a few of the tables for that budget-conscious person, we just use a couple of lanterns with candles sitting in the center of them, right? Just mix it up, make it look different. And again, there's some of that. Doesn't that look just like a rose from the side? Can you see that? Tom, can you get a close-up on that flower? Isn't that beautiful? It looks just like a garden rose, but yet it's Canadian Lysianthus. And they have it in that white, purple, and lavender. I'm not messing with you. Alright. And here Kim has made 4 composite arrangements set on a table. You can put that lantern right in the center, right? And then these small votive holders are like $1.95, so $2 before discount. I mean, what a great value, right? Or maybe you could actually go to the hardware store, cut some dryer then, and use that. Just cover your glass cylinders, which you already have, right? We all have them already, so just use that to cover up the dryer then. I don't think any of us have done it, but I want to mention it right now. We're seeing a real strong trend back to painting the flowers, as they say, airbrushing flowers. People want all those colors again, and they want to be very specific. So to stay out of trouble, people are going to the design master section in the aisles there and pulling the color that they want, and then spray painting, getting back to it. And I know sometimes people look at it and go, really? We're going to spray paint stuff? Paints are beautiful. They have great colors, and you can really match things up. It's not a bad way to go. Here's one of the bouquets that Kim has done. Yeah, again, I'm going to sound like a Canadian commercial here, but I'm not. But they were, our Canadian partners were very generous in donating product, as well as our Holland people, California people. So when you're ordering, think about that. This is that Celosia, Coxcomb Celosia. Isn't that cool? If you can't remember Coxcomb, remember brains. I always just say brains Celosia. So the salesperson doesn't know what that is. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. But it's very pretty. And then the other Celosia is just plain or feather Celosia, right? It comes in the plumes. But right now they have this beautiful color. We have a very beautiful cream yellow in the cooler right now from Canada. And it comes on a stem that's got to be at least this long, right? Yeah, about 80 centimeters long. So beautiful. And those are those white mini callus from Canada as well. What a shame Kim's cut that whole length down just to use the heads. But you can see why they're beautiful. Every one is perfect, right? Sometimes you order your mini callus and 6 of them are really nice, and then one of them is kind of just ugly. And then the other 3 are just half open, right? With these Canadian ones, it's like local callus. They're just beautifully opened and formed. Kim also, just so you know, here's some bear grass, but it's dry bear grass. You know, what's bear grass from? Like $3 a bunch? Take a couple bunches next time you buy it, and just hang it up and let it dry, because it gives you a great look, doesn't it? A little bit different than the natural, different texture. This, by the way, is the wide leaf Dusty Miller versus the narrow leaf Dusty Miller. You just learn something new every day. And a mason jar, what a great way for a country wedding to use for a bouquet holder is a mason jar. You know, and I think that's something really, when I'm thinking about bouquets and weddings and events and that, I always think about what are we going to put the bouquets in, because that's a money-making opportunity right there. You know, I love it when people say, well, I can just lay them on the table. Really? You just want to lay it on the table? How about we put it in something? You know, something nice and trendy, and then we can charge them for it, right? That's the key, you have to charge them. Those are not the most beautiful wine-colored peonies you've ever seen. They're just gorgeous. You know, peonies smell good, but if you have too many of them, they really do stink. So you gotta be careful. You know, a lot of people say, I want lots of peonies. So really, I think you just want a few for looks. Let me mix in some roses there, because they do become very, very strong. You can always count on David to push the color envelope, you know. Usually they say it's me. People say, what are you doing? That looks like a Latin wedding gone bad. I can say that. Last name was Figueroa, you know I can say it. But anyway, but David also, I think he's got some Latin blood in his heritage somewhere. Because he's always mixing those colors. Isn't that beautiful? I just love peonies. You know that the former owner of Kennecott Brothers, Red Kennecott, who's still very active and he's on the board for Kennecott Brothers Incorporated, is a peony grower. He started out, his family started out as growers back in the mid-1800s, and they started a wholesale house in the late 1800s in Chicago. Red today grows peonies in Costa Rica, Arkansas, Indiana, Illinois, northern Wisconsin, northern Michigan, and Alaska. Red's goal is to be able to offer peonies to his customers 365 days a year. So he just chases the weather throughout the globe to be able to do that. Here's what I decided on when I found out that Kim had already done the galvanizing metal. I went ahead and grabbed these candlesticks. I thought they were beautiful. Isn't that nice? Very heavy. And we had 3 different heights and 3 different sizes. And here's one for you. And I know that hybrid delphinium is not a tropical flower, but I thought it went well with the tropical look with that rich, dark purple. But I just took a black loamy tray, and pull out one of those Barbie tables. They didn't call them Barbie tables. I call them more like, even for Barbie, it's more like a footstool, right? What I do is I use those loamy trays, the flat loamy trays, and I glue 3 or 4 of those to the bottom, and then when I put my Oasis on there, it really holds it strong, okay? And for those who can't see in the back, if you ever order an extra large pizza, in the box in the middle, they put that little plastic thing, same thing. We just use it for flowers instead of pizza. But anyway, beautiful, you know, pinfish and proteas now, very trendy flowers. You should have them in all your coolers. You should show them in many of your design shows or looks when you're trying to do demos for people. Pin cushions are very popular. They last a long, long time. And then the other one, here's would you back off for just 1 minute? This foliage here is called woolly bush. Have you seen that before? It's similar to Aussie pine, but obviously it's silver. It's like a micro version of silver tree. You know what a silver tree is? That big silver foliage, very pretty. Honestly, I think for winter weddings or white winter centerpieces, I think it's a really beautiful foliage. But I also thought it would hold well as a different type. I just refuse to use the Dusky Miller, so this is my substitute. Right? I used some Aspidiscus, some miniature monstera foliage in both of them. Tucked in a couple of the fat seal leaves as well. A little bit of green, a little bit of shine there. Nothing wrong with getting a little alternation. And then I did a third one. Much simpler. At first when I looked at this, I go, you know, it'd be really good to just take a bubble ball and put a small 6-inch bubble ball in that, wouldn't it? It would fit really nicely. But then I saw these black cylinder bases, and I go, I like that. But then I did break down and use a little bit of the thin leaf, Dusty Miller. Isn't that a beautiful orchid, if anyone else is orchid? Do you know every week we get a box of novelty orchids from Chicago? They grow them in the greenhouse, and there's multiple colors, multiple shades. And generally it's in that cooler over there and that where those brown boxes are, except I used a lot of them in my design work. These are the Canadian yellow. Look at that beautiful, look how long the head is on that, you know? So I would be careful, because I know sometimes our event people will order mini callus to use as boutonnieres. I don't think these would be a good boutonniere for them. Too big, right? I mean, that would take up a gentleman's whole palette. So you want to be careful what you're buying it for. Everything has a place and a purpose, right? So as a mini callus, I guess it's time to move on.